for tuning in tonight to watch our launch of our new and fourth album, Walking Barefoot. Yay! As you will already know, I'm sure, I'm Stacey.
I'm Jonathan.
Yeah, it's really nice for you to tune in and watch our little video we put together. We were hoping we could have done this in some sort of live fashion, but in the end we had to plump for the pre-recorded because trying to get us both in the same room or even the same time zone at times seems to be quite tricky. So yes, we've got a pre-recorded version, but we hope you enjoy it anyway.
So this is, like Stacey says, this is our fourth collection. Can't believe it, since what was the first one was in summer 2020, and now we're kind of autumn 22, and this is the fourth one. So it's called Walking Barefoot, and you can see it's got some lovely fox and moon artwork. Ooh, can you see that? Ooh. And so for those of you who don't know, and I'm sure most of you do know, but Stacey does a Fox Under the Moon sort of art project, and so check that out if you haven't already. But the reason we put it on the cover of this, I mean, it's, how would we explain it? There's a connection. That's what we felt. There's a connection between this collection of songs, perhaps, and the artwork of Fox Under the Moon, and it felt very naturally and that they would go together, really. So yeah, I don't know, do you want to say anything about that, Stacey?
Yeah, I mean, the as you guys might know already, the premise of Fox Under the Moon and the little business that I run and the books and the artwork is all to do with sort of supporting positive mental health and encouraging self-love and all of that kind of stuff. And I think this collection of songs, and all our music is kind of has that sort of emotional feel to it. If you listen to any of our other collections, you'll know. But this one particularly, I think we've been planning, this has been a long time coming, this collection. We've been planning this pretty much since the end of the first record we did together. We've been thinking about this one. It's been in the background, and we wanted to really do it justice, which is why it's taken a while. And I think particularly this collection is more raw and more emotional than perhaps the others, if that's possible. So it felt like a really nice fit to kind of tie in the artwork I was doing. And also, of course, this album has developed alongside the stuff that I'm doing through the artwork. It really, this has been a part of my life at the same time as me developing Fox Under the Moon. So it just all feels like it fits nicely. Yeah. I'm not zooming in and out on purpose, by the way. The box in the background, I don't know why it's doing that. It was well timed, though.
We're so tech savvy. Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things I want to say about this collection is, first of all, if you've enjoyed our music so far and been on this musical journey with us as well, this is very much a continuation of what we've already done. You're not going to get a radical difference here. Like Stacey says, we've always veered towards emotional, sort of literate songwriting, I guess, and acoustic sort of harmonies, that kind of thing. And there's plenty of that on here. But there's also perhaps been a time when we've thrown in some curveballs in some of our other records as well. And I think this one we've been more careful perhaps to keep the emotional human sort of theme through it all, really. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of work. It's been a lot of work, yeah. Fun. And so that's another part of the reason why it's taken so long to arrive on the scene. Yeah. So
we did at least produce a bit of this one in the same room. I know some of the vocals at least we've done with in the same room. I mean, like most of our other completely remote. Although again, a large part of this has also been produced completely and utterly separate, hasn't it? So
yeah.
It's still
and sometimes that's been yeah, I mean, in a way that's been part of our theme. We developed as a partnership, as a musical partnership through the lockdown years, and obviously to some extent we're all still in that. And so some of these songs were recorded apart because of that, and then some of them, like Stacey says, just because life gets in the way, and stuff happens, and we suddenly like we really need to move along with this, but we can't get in the same place. So, but saying that, I think one of the things that I'd say about this collection is it feels more rounded and more complete somehow, perhaps, than the others as a whole. Yeah. So obviously individual songs, you might find any one of them might have been on any of our previous records in a way, but the actual collection it feels kind of we put a lot more effort into thinking, well, what direction do we want the whole record to move? So it's not it's not Sergeant Pepper, it's not a concept album as such, but it's it's another emotionally heartfelt album. We're really pleased with it and really hope that people are going to enjoy it.
And of course songs have been written, not all very particularly recently. I mean, there is one track on here called Something, which is one of the first songs I ever wrote more than 10 years ago. So there's a real kind of, there's a sense of that journey and the development of both of us musically and emotionally, I think, on this, which is also just makes it a little bit special. So yeah.
Yeah. So should we talk about some of the songs? Should we?
Yeah.
I don't miss you
like I used to.
I don't want you all the time.
I don't keep you
like a secret
in my sweetest dreams at night.
I don't need you.
I don't love you.
I don't picture every memory of you and me and see you every time I close my eyes. And maybe you'll believe me if I weren't telling you lies.
So
Yeah.
track number 1 is a song called Lies, and this is the one that Stacey very much was the driving force behind. So I'm gonna defer to her.
Yeah. This is sorry, Jonathan, I'll just interrupt. I'll just interject. Yeah, so this is very much kind of the style of writing that I love to do. I love writing duets, and you'll notice when you hear this, there's real interweaving of vocals. We did it on our song Between the Lines, which was on our first collection actually, and it's a similar kind of feel to that, in that it's very much the vocals kind of mesh together. It wouldn't work really if it wasn't a duet song. So yeah, and I mean we've kind of given the game away a bit by telling you the title, I guess, but it's sort of a bit of a song of contradiction if you listen to the lyrics. But it's a really fun one to play live. It went down really well at the we played at the Warwick Folk Festival, and I think people were really, I don't want to blow our own trumpets, but quite captivated by how the sort of melody and harmony works together. So yeah, I love this one.
And I'm going to say, for me, what you'll hear when you hear it is it's one of, like Stacey says, it's got a lot in common with Between the Lines, perhaps, but it's a very simple sounding song. It's an acoustic guitar and piano song, just the voices. We didn't want anything to get in the way of the voices weaving around each other. Oh, it was hard. I'm going to tell you, it was really hard. And I've probably spent more time as the sort of producer on this song than I have on any other song that we've ever done. And you'll hear much more complex sounding songs actually on this record. But this one, everything had to, all the pieces just had to fit right. So think kindly on me when you listen to it, and I really hope you enjoy it, because like I say, it's a beautiful song. Stacey's done an amazing job on the words but on the arrangement as well. And so, you know, it's really been a lovely thing to record, and that's why we started the record off, because it was kind of like, it's the two of us together, it's the two voices, it's that whole how you get through life when you've got to weave through it with other people, whether that's in close personal relationships or passing relationships or whatever it might be. So yeah, it's a lovely thing though. So I really hope you enjoyed that one.
Production wise, it's had the kitchen sink thrown at it and then taken out and refitted. I think it's very much like we tried a lot of stuff. Like there's been so many versions of this song, and it's gone from almost full symphony orchestra right down to kind of quite stripped back, really. Although it does still feel like a really full song. So I think you did a really good job in making it what it should be there. So yeah, no.
You.
Yeah, don't worry. I won't compliment you too much, else your head might not fit in that hat.
Promises and hearts wide open and dreams too big to believe. Will you be my anchor if I say I'll be your lighthouse in the darkest night? We'll dance on golden shores while the moon showers the sea with silver light.
So next up is a song called Pacific Waves. So I'm going to start introducing this one. So I first got the idea for the music for this, believe it or not, about 25 years ago. So that's been permeating through, and I was
a wee whipper in that room.
I've been kind of like, oh, I'll do something with that one day. But I was very happy with the sound of it in my head, and I didn't want to spoil it. And I think that's one of the things, that when you're writing a song and you get on something that you feel is good, you don't want to muck it up by just dismissing it in some other flippant way. And so as a result, of course, 25 years went by and I did nothing with it. And so then I recorded some music for it and said to Stacey, look, can you do anything with this? And yeah, she could. She came back with a song very, very quickly, at which point I said,
nearly the end of
that's not really what I was thinking of. So I liked what she'd done. It just wasn't what I was thinking of at all. And so it was, again, went on the back burner for a little while. And then we were talking about this record, and Stacey just said to me, you know, I quite like Pacific Waves. And I was like, I was already thinking of it, and I hadn't really thought that I'd kind of dismissed it in that way, because after that initial conversation where I'd said, oh, I don't know about this, I just lived with it, and I just thought, oh, this is great, this is Pacific Waves now. Of course, poor Stacey had no idea that
he never updated me on this change part, so I just went on thinking he hated it. And you know what, to add insult to injury, I think there's probably that the words to Pacific Waves are probably some of my favorite lyrics I've ever written. And Jonathan was like, nah. He has this big turnaround of opinion and just leaves me hanging. So yeah.
But anyway, I came around to the right way of thinking.
It turned out well in the end.
And that's one of the songs. Now, this song does have a little bit more production on it, and it's one that really, really developed. And hopefully you'll hear that yourself when you listen to it. It's a song. It's been a lot of fun to record. This one, in contrast to Lies, this one has a lot more going on. But actually, it was a pleasure to record from start to finish, because it just flowed. I mean, ironic with the waves, just flowed very easily and very smoothly. And then we came up with a nice little outro, really, which is one of my favorite parts of the music, of things that we've recorded, actually. And I really hope that other people enjoy it too, because it was unexpected to both of us when it happened.
It's worth, if you do listen to the CD or whatever while you're driving along, it's worth learning the words to that one, or at least a little hooky bit, because when we do it live, we often, Jonathan often forces everyone to join in. So yeah, you learn the words to that one, and then if you ever
to join in with.
And here I go again, blaming everybody else, when the truth is deep down I just can't forgive myself. I know what I've done, now my love is dying, I've got blood on my hands, and I can't hide it. And I was the only one you could ever trust, but I didn't see it. No, I didn't see it.
Now this is a completely kind of different song to what you would have just heard before with Pacific Waves, as this is a piano song, and yes, it is me playing the piano, albeit not strictly all at the same time. So my journey with piano is ongoing, and I can just about string some chords together, but not enough to reliably play a song. However, I did write this one completely on the piano, so I think that's a bit of an achievement. And,
fabulous song.
Yeah, so, and this is one of the ones that we entered into the 2022 UK songwriter competition, and I believe we're so far at the semi-final stage. Is that correct?
We are. It's in the semi-finals, so we're waiting to hear. And of course, it was also in the final of the Blues and Roots.
It was
song contest. We entered it because it was the first song we'd finished, actually. So we entered it at, I think, a tail end of last year, into the Blues and Roots songwriting contest, and got to the last 15 in the final. Couldn't believe it. Absolutely delighted. It was a lovely moment. So obviously it's been proven a popular song amongst the critics, but we kind of, we're really enjoying it as well. It's a very emotional song, and we had a lot of fun. Doing the video as well. If you haven't seen the video,
I imagine you might see either some clips of it in our little video here, or if not, then we'll put some links in the description to where you can go and watch the full video.
And I really want you to know that both Stacey and I suffered for our art making that video. We've both got very cold in different places at different
times. You had to walk
times.
about 3.5 hours to get to where you were filming, didn't you? And I had to stand in bare feet in the mud, which is, to be honest, compared to some of the other songs we've done, that was nothing for me. But yeah.
But yeah, it's a beautiful song, and then again, lyrically, absolutely spot on. This idea of none of us are perfect, quite honestly, and sometimes you have to admit to your failings, and and there's a power in that as well. So beautiful song. So thanks, Stacey, for that one. Yeah.
Ooh, the next one's fun. I don't know why I'm holding that.
Oh, we never meant for it to go this far. Oh, we try not to let it go, but here we are. I made the rules to break it, and now we're lying in the bed.
So The Bed We Made is track number 4, and and this is another one that's very much a joint effort, actually. So I came up with some music, and when Stacey and I first started making music together, and we got some touchstones of people that we both enjoyed and that we felt we'd kind of moved towards. Stacey had a real interest and love of country music, often quite straight country music, Dolly Parton, Shania Twain, whatever. But one of the names that she was really keen on and really pushing right at the start was the Civil Wars. If you don't know the Civil Wars, check the Civil Wars. But this one, probably out of all the songs we've ever done, this is the most Civil Warsy in my head anyway. And again, it's done. So I came up with some music, and I thought, oh, this has got some potential, but it was quite loose. And so I sent it over to Stacey, and my goodness, she's developed this amazing concept of a song, with the vocals being the center point of it, and the weaving that goes on. And I know a few people out there have had a preview listen to the album, really, and this song is one that's jumped out at people. And because it's one of Stacey's finest ever vocals, quite honestly, I can say that. In the room. Wow. And the word, the captivating, mellifluous, whatever you want to say, it's an absolutely extraordinary vocal, really. But it's a great song. I'm so delighted to be a part of this. It's a great song.
I did never think we'd be cool, and I think this is the closest we might ever get.
We just managed to touch it occasionally, normally thanks to you, I think. So we had Until You Stop Me, didn't we, on our second record, and that was a pretty cool song.
I'd say this has got not a similar feel, but it's in the same vein of, isn't it? It's a little bit naughty, it's a little bit cheeky, but it's a bit raunchy, actually, is what I'd say. It's got a bit of bump to it, a bit of gutsy.
I think it's quite, I don't know, maybe it's a bit raunchy. I think it's quite a raw song. I think the emotions in there of again, it's that thing of saying life does not always just set up like a Disney fairy tale. That's just not the reality of most of our lives. And certainly if we get a bit of that, then it doesn't tend to last that long. And I think songs like this really get a hold of the complexities that we have in forming relationships and maintaining relationships, and whether we want to do that. I mean, I'm over talking now, so I'm going to stop. You need to just listen to the song. It's a lovely song. It's a good tune.
Let them hear it. We were laughing because as we're recording this, we've got like a strict 40-minute limit for 2 reasons. One, because we're on Zoom, and 2, because we both need to have dinner. And we were like, yeah, we'll get it done, 20 minutes. And we were like, yeah, okay, whatever. Now I'm doing it. What's the next song?
I feel the water is thin. How can it hold me?
Lean back and I'll be there for you.
I feel the weight pressing in. It wants to enfold me.
You'll float if you trust to let go.
This is too much for me even to try.
I'll be here tomorrow, still right by your side.
Okay, so the next song is Hold On.
Hold On. I love Hold On.
So Hold On is the interesting thing for me about songwriting. I'm sure that's the same for a lot of songwriters. Is when you try to write a song, it's quite hard. It's quite hard to write something that you're satisfied with, and then they
Yeah.
sometimes just pop in, and there they are. And with Hold On, especially, we had, like I say, well, like I was saying at the start, we had a concept, I guess, a theme, not a theme, but an idea for the record that we wanted to follow, and the title of it, Walking Barefoot, we'll come to that song later, but we had this kind of conception really, and Hold On just popped out. It was like, this song needs to be, we're missing another song that actually deals with the difficulties that people face, the challenges that they face from the internal battle, that thing that's saying, I'm not good enough, actually, I can't manage, I'm not gonna, and then on top of that, to try and offer the reassurance that friends and family and people who we're close to, and sometimes people that we're not close to, will just try and help, they try and bail you out, and those are the things that get us through the hard times. And so that song kind of came from that feeling. It was definitely influenced by Fox Under the Moon, I gotta say. Fox Under the Moon was already well on its way at that point, and what Stacey was trying to achieve with that, that song very much came from the same well, really.
I can definitely hear that in it now. I didn't know that before, but I can definitely hear that in it. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's a gorgeous song, and I think just even without any of the kind of what it means or any of that, just the actual sound of the song is so. It's a very like hypnotic song, I think, because it hasn't got any wild kind of out there vocals or any like completely complex harmonies or anything, but it just sits in a really good place in your head. I think I can't quite explain it. You have to hear it, but it's a lovely song to listen to. Really, really lovely. Yeah,
that's nice. And musically, I just had a little bit of fun with it, because when you're producing a whole record, you want the songs to stand on their own 2 feet. You don't want each song to sound like the same as the last one, but you also want it to represent the song itself. And one of the thing that I stumbled on with this one, quite accidentally really, was that the soloing that you can hear in it is actually a bass guitar rather than a normal guitar, if you like, and it has a very distinctive sound, which just, I don't know, it just felt right, I can't tell. But anyway, would love to know what you think about any of these songs, really.
Where the river weaves a ribbon of pure silver, and the wildflowers dance beneath the moon. And you took my hand and there we walked together, and I fell for you like a raindrop from the sky. In the place where the mountains reach the heavens, and you were almost mine.
I think the next song on the record, Almost Mine, is probably, if you can call it upbeat, is probably the upbeat song. It's a little bit,
absolutely.
In my, it's a little bit more folky feeling than some of the others. It's very kind of driven by like the natural world. There's a lot of really lovely imagery in it and that kind of stuff in the lyrics. And yeah, I mean, I wrote the lyrics about a time when my husband Damien and I first got together, or nearly got together, when we had almost got together, and we were just sort of getting to know each other and stuff. But it's just like a really nice sort of romantic song, it's kind of there's no surprises in it. It is what it is, you're not going to be listening for any kind of double meaning in the lyrics. I know we try and be a bit clever sometimes. This is just a song that what you hear is what you get, and I think it's an emotional song, but it's also fun, it's upbeat, it's lighthearted, and I think yeah, it just lifts the record a little bit, because we always like to kind of put one in there that lightens the mood, I guess, a little bit, and I think this one does it, but it still comes from a really kind of deep place. So it's nice.
Can't you see you're that something on my mind? At the bottom of every bottle, you're all I find. They say that time's a healer, and there's no doubt, but I'm starting to think we're running out.
so the next one out is another Stacey song, really, and it's one of the first songs that we recorded together, and we've used that recording for this record rather than going back and redoing it, because sometimes there's a freshness and a natural thing that comes when you try to revisit that, you lose a little bit of something, really. But Running Out.
That's the time we did it as well, so why change it?
But it's called Running Out, and it's. I don't know. Can we talk about the subject matter, Stace? What do you think?
I think inspiration is drawn from many places. And the time I wrote this song was somebody I knew, a friend of mine at the time, had just lost their partner, their life partner, essentially. And I think it was just, although the whole song isn't necessarily about losing someone to death, that was where the inspiration came. And I think if you look at it, losing someone full stop, I think that song is quite completely opposite to the other, to Almost Mine. There is a lot of reading between the lines involved in this song, in the lyrics. Musically, it's a very simple song. I mean, of course, because I wrote the chords, so there's probably only 2 of them. But maybe 3 if you're lucky. But in terms of the kind of the lyrics, definitely it's about loss and grief, and coming to terms with that, and what that looks like in daily life, really. So yeah.
And it's a very beautiful song, and a very touching song, I think. Yeah, there's a definite sort of depth that goes on with it. And I think we should say that it's probably the one song on the whole record that's just a little bit country.
Bit country. Well, it was
a bit country.
I'm a bit of a Chris Stapleton fan, and for me, this is a bit of a Chris Stapleton kind of feel. If you know his music, you'll probably see where that influence has come there. So yeah, no, I think it's definitely a bit country.
Don't be afraid though; it's only a little bit country.
One day we're going to do a thigh slapping, boot tapping country album. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah, that's coming. That's coming.
Well, you would not produce it, of course, but
dear.
A pockets of night stars, no fear of cutting free. I swallowed down your spark. Now there's a fire inside of me.
Uncaged Birds was another gorgeous song. Understated but beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, so Uncaged Bird, I mean, that again probably was written specifically for this record, although I'd got the music beforehand. And I never thought of it as being a song. And then I thought, well, maybe this could be a song. So I recorded the music and I sent it to Stacey and said, can you make this a song? And before she had a chance, I wrote the song.
You made the song.
But unfortunately, Stacey was like, no, that's great. Let's do that. But I think what you find that she contributes, and again, it's very different sound to us, this one. It's I suppose you could say it's folk, but there's lots of, well, have a listen. There's lots of stuff going on. You can maybe hear it in the background. I'll probably put some music over behind us. So, but Stacey again has done some lovely harmony vocals, and especially towards the end, we've got this thing sometimes when we don't go down the exact normal track. There'll be a little message that comes. There's always a disclaimer, whichever of us it goes back and forth. Little new tracks arrive. Have a listen. Might have gone a bit rogue on this.
Yeah, it's definitely rogue.
Like, I've gone a bit rogue on that one.
We almost always use the
rogue
word
great,
don't we? Almost always as well.
It's nearly always what we use because it adds that difference and interest, and it's like, oh, it's really melodic. It's lovely. So delighted with that one.
Yeah, it's really funny when we call it going rogue because actually it's pretty tame.
Yeah, we haven't quite gone, but we'll be rapping on the next one.
Out a tin whistle in the last chorus or anything, but
Oh.
no, it's a gorgeous song, and I think having the 2 vocals on it does kind of, it doesn't need it, but I think the harmony, it lifts it gives it something else, doesn't it? So yeah, for sure.
Some things have changed now and I still stay the same, and I'd go in a heartbeat back to that day. Remember how easily conversation flowed like wine from the bottle at the table that night, and I rusted more than I worsted. And even now when it's all just a dream like memory, shed
song that very nearly didn't make it on any record, let alone this one, because I don't know why, but I'm very precious about this song. I say it's one of the first songs I ever wrote. It's a very emotional song, I think, anyway. And it's a very simple song, but I don't know if you'd agree, Jonathan, it's quite difficult to do justice. It's
Yes.
it's one of the few songs, and I mean few songs, that I am quite confident playing live, and that it actually sounds better if we do it live. And it pretty much is a live recording, isn't it, that we've got on there?
Definitely it is.
It is a live recording, and it's really odd, and it's strange, because I was adamant that I didn't want to play the guitar on any of our tracks, because like Jonathan is a master of guitar, and I play 3 chords. He is, well, at least compared to me you are, but you are anyway. But it was funny because Jonathan played it, and I was like, I didn't know it's not right.
And then I played it again, and then I played it again, and then I played it maybe 15 times, and each time.
And I don't know what it was.
But it wasn't right. And I knew it wasn't right.
Well, it wasn't right. It just wasn't. I didn't feel it. And when I sing along to the track, I found it, and it may have been, if I'd recorded the guitar track and then tried to sing to my own guitar, I might have had the same feeling. But there's something about playing and singing that song at the same time. Anyway, again, it's a special one. Have a listen. It's nice to have a live one on there as well, isn't it? So,
definitely. Definitely. And a gorgeous song. Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, gorgeous song. So, yeah.
Thank you. I like that one. I think it's probably one of my favourites actually on the album, but I don't know, maybe.
Well, you're not broken, you're just trying to feel complete. And you're getting there, though sometimes it's exhausting to believe. And when you can't even see the word for the tree, just keep walking through the forest in your bare feet. 'Cause you're stronger than you think, you're more worthy than you feel. You're more than you believe you are. If only you'd see you're not broken, you're just trying.
Which brings us to the final track, Walking Barefoot, which in a sense is it where it all started? Were we already thinking about something before? Well, we were in a way thinking about something before this, but
yeah,
this became the theme song in a way, didn't it?
Yeah, this song, I think, and the concept of it was where, well, in fact, the chorus of this song, which is where it started, was where the concept of the album came from, wasn't it? Because we had a chorus, and I had a chorus, a sketchy one, and I sent it over to Jonathan on like an iPad voice note or something, and was like, is this a song? I don't know if I like it. And he was like, yeah, I love it. And then it went from there, and I couldn't write the verses. I don't know what it was about it, but then Jonathan wrote perfect verses for it. So it was a real kind of a real joint effort again. But this one really is the crux of the whole record, hence it being the title track, because it's very much about the idea of walking barefoot is if you walk barefoot through a forest or over a path or on the beach, you feel everything. You feel absolutely everything. And I think that was the point of this record, was that all of the emotion in all of the songs, there's so many emotions, and at some point in our lives we all feel them all, and Walking Barefoot is very much about embracing those feelings, those emotions, feeling them, accepting them, being okay with them, and not kind of beating yourself up when things don't go the right way, and accepting that sometimes in life things don't go right and it's not great, but that isn't going to be forever. And I think this is the song that ties it so well to the Fox Under the Moon stuff as well. Oh, look, he's appeared again. He's done it. I'm talking about Fox Under the Moon. Oh, something's happened. But anyway, so again, like this one, I think really listen to the lyrics on this one. And I hope it brings some comfort to people, because that's what it's for. This song is to remind you that you're enough and you're okay as you are, I guess. So what do you want to add, Jonathan?
Yeah, no, that's it. That's it. And I think one of the things that we've tried to do in our songs and in our music, and this song in particular, is not to, how can we put it, not to make it too easy, not to make it so that, because I think it's too easy sometimes for someone just to go, oh, there, don't worry, you'll be okay. And it's kind of like, often we know we'll be okay, and yet we're not okay. And it's not coming together. And I think I've had times like that in recent years, really, where that's been the case. And so I felt very in touch with the sentiments in it, really. And I think Stacey has as well. And so I think we don't ever want to sort of to make it seem like it's a glib thing. It's not glib. It's not glib.
No.
The struggles that we have are real. And they're different from each other, but they're real. So it's just trying to really acknowledge that difficulty and getting through. So yeah, I really hope it helps. And it's been a beautiful song to work on. And again, Stacey's done just a beautiful vocal. So I really hope you enjoy that one.
It's one of my favourite songs to sing. I think that one of ours. It's just, I feel like by the time you get to the end of the chorus, I feel so emotional in myself. I feel that really comes through every time I sing it live. It's the same. So yeah, we really love Walking Barefoot. It's a special song, and I think it rounds off the album nicely. And as is traditional with our CDs and albums, we've put the title track at the end, which we do a lot. So actually, talking of CDs, while we're on it, we are going to be releasing some CDs. So we've got our little sample copies here, so we do have them. If you'd like a physical copy, just get in touch with either one of us. Either's fine. We can sort that out for you. That's fine. Also, obviously, everything that we do always will be available to listen to for free online on all of the major streaming platforms: Spotify, iTunes, or I can't remember the rest of them, but there's loads. There's
YouTube as well. You can find it on YouTube as well, actually.
And actually, if you haven't followed our YouTube channel, then do so. We can type in Stacey McNeill, probably more so than Jonathan Smith, to find it. There's a few more Jonathan Smiths floating around than Stacey McNeill, but you'll find us anyway. We've got some quite cool music videos up there if you've not seen them, so have a little look at those. And yeah, I guess just thank you again for all of your ongoing support. It means a lot, and to all the radio shows who've supported us right from our journey. There's too many to list, but every single one of you who's ever played our music and interacted with us and interviewed us, then we really appreciate it. It's so lovely.
So just picking up on what Stacey was saying about the CDs. So if you want to, you can email us, or you can get us through Facebook. If you want to contact us at any time, you can do that. It'd be great to hear from you. Streaming, you can stream for free on all those things. If you want to download, we do have a Bandcamp account now, which I'm going to put a link to on our website, so you'll be able to find it there. I'll probably put it on Facebook and stuff like that.
And in the description of this video maybe as well.
Yeah. And I mean, on Bandcamp, that's there if you want to actually download it, and if you want to support us, then you can pay for that. We're just going to leave it open so that it's kind of donations or whatever, I think. So that's what it will be. But very much appreciate anybody listening to the music, really. But if you do want to donate, then obviously we'd appreciate that even more. But really hope you enjoy the record. It's been a labour of love. It really has been a labour of love, this one, for both of us. And really proud of the songs. Really hope you enjoy them. And Thank you
for joining us this evening as well. It's really, really nice for you to tune in and stuff. And thank you so much for your ongoing support. We really, really appreciate it. And here's to whatever comes next in the chapter. So
Okay, we'll see you very soon, we hope. Okay.
Yeah. See you guys. Bye.
Bye now. Bye.